Hi, guys. Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 165. Is your mic not working?
It is working.
Oh, you were just mouthing it. Thanks, you guys, so much for joining us. We're going to be talking about a lot of shit tonight. Jesper and I got a lot of stories. Together, we did 150 rides? No, 130? What's 70 plus 60?
Hashtag math. 131.
131. We did 131 rides, so we got a lot of stories from that.
In 20 hours. No, 24 hours.
24 hours for me too. So so Patreon members Larry, Samson, Steve, Bud, Omar, Delivery Cats, Jamie, Frank, Joe, and Nate. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. It means a lot that you'll spend your hard-earned gig-earned money on these pathetic losers. And we can't thank you enough for that. If you want to join the support the pathetic losers, you can do that. My dogs are fighting down here. Can you hear that at all? Anyways, go to patreon.com/the Gig Epon podcast. I want you to go there and support it so I can get a better dog gate. But Jesper's going to talk about the website while I get my dogs out.
There you go. So when you're done supporting us on Patreon, we want you to go to gigeconomyshow.com and sign up for the newsletter list, which gives you one newsletter a month. Sometimes a month, sometimes a quarter, once like that. and then you'll get notices when the new post and the new shows get posted on Mondays. Generally, that notice goes out either Tuesday or Wednesday. We try to get it done a little bit earlier so we get something.
We need to create a link for that to put in the show notes. I realized as we were talking about the newsletter that we don't have like a link for somebody easily to click on to subscribe.
Oh, okay. So we'll put a link in there, but until we put the link in, go to geekeconomyshow.com. There's like sign up forms all over the place. Okay, top and bottom, all that stuff. You can sign up there.
Yes, that would be great. But yeah, so if you want to join us in the Telegram group, one of our group members today left a 9-minute message. So if you want to listen to that.
9 minutes?
9 minutes.
Was that John?
No, that was Rachel.
Oh, wow. I got to listen to that.
I don't know if I'm going to spend 9 minutes of my life listening to that. But anyways.
9 minutes you will never get back.
That is true.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But yeah, if you want to join the Telegram group, it was great over the weekend. Had a lot of fun. Jesper and I working a ton of hours. So,
and we actually talked. We had a lot of talk going on, I feel like.
I agree.
Except it dies down a little bit when it's after 9 o'clock by hours, you really get busy. So
yeah, I mean, I always try to like bitch about it,
and then you leave fairly quickly. So
well, hey. That's what this weekend I took a different attitude. I was like, I need to get 60 rides. I'm not going to kill myself. I went home at midnight every night. And yeah, could I have got it done in 2 days like you did? Of course. But I had to go out on Sunday and work 6 hours. I think I worked on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But
again, you got it done.
Yeah.
It was all good.
Yeah.
It was all good.
So why don't we talk a little bit about the stories from the road?
My stories from the road is I have 3 to talk about. The first one was, again, not really that untraditional. I guess a lot of people, I guess, have had people in your car like that. But I think this is probably the first one I had that totally really reeked, and I had to close down. I had to open up my windows, and I was very, very happy that I had my sunroof at that time. I had a gal sit in the car, and she was sitting right behind me, and oh my gosh. Absolutely stunk. The car was it was like petroleum and urine. Like that was like oh my yeah.
That's so bad. So question for you, when she got into your car, did you open the window while you drove?
So it didn't like immediately become apparent. So I didn't right away open, but yeah, very quickly I started opening up my windows. I rolled down my window next to me, and I opened up the sunroof. Oh yeah, I totally. It was so bad.
So I didn't put that on my stories because of a bunch of other stuff. But I had Friday was the same thing, and I had a guy. I had to put the window down when he got in, like immediately.
Yeah.
It was just like it was too much. I mean, nice guy, or actually didn't really even say much. So.
No, she didn't say much either, but yeah.
I was just like, nope, I can't do this. And, Gabe gave me a hard time about it. I'm just like, listen, we have a general consensus in the United
Right.
States. If you have a smartphone and you can pay your bills, you probably have, chances are you have a shower and some
Right.
soap and deodorant, maybe a laundry machine. Like, we can do all those things as adults. And again, I get it. There are circumstances if you're special needs or whatever, but these are adults
Absolutely.
that could take care of themselves because they walked out to my car.
I mean, the person I took her to her job,
Oh, God.
right, which was in retail, and it's like,
What, in retail?
oh yeah, yeah, and it was just, and I'm not gonna say more about that. It was
No.
actually in the food. It was in the food industry, but it was just nasty.
Yeah.
And I mean, you should have just general hygiene when you do that. So, anyways, the other two things I'm going to talk about is actually kind of connected, but and I will talk about the third one first because it works up to it. So, what I noticed when I was out driving, and this is the first weekend I've noticed it, and I actually seen it, several other people talking about it in the local groups on Uber. This is the first time this has happened, and I was trying to figure out why it was happening. I don't know if it's just a bug or whatever, but if I'm driving and I have a passenger in my car and I accept the ride, I accept the queued ride, right?
Hmm.
If that queued ride then cancels, I will get another ride assigned automatically. That happened like 10, 15 times this weekend when I was out driving.
Oh, so it was multiple days it was happening?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This happened both Friday and Saturday. And it's like, I know it because it was, and in the beginning, I didn't put it together. That was the steps. But after it happened a couple of times, oh, that's what it is. So it didn't happen automatically all the time. But if I had a ride, I accepted a queue ride, that queue ride canceled, then Uber will assign another one in its place.
That's so strange.
So that's what happened to me at least. And I would say it happened at least 15 times over the weekend. Now, one of those times, and I didn't aware of this, was a multi-stop that got assigned. And I will never accept a multi-stop generally. I just don't. This one it turned out to be okay. It was a little bit late Friday night, and I I had to take them to it was a new young couple, and they were believers, and obviously had been married very quickly, and she was married and she was pregnant, but they'd only been married for a year or two or something like that. And so they were just recently moved into this rental house, and so they were emptying out their what's it called,
House?
the storage unit.
Oh.
Right. So the two trips was go to the storage unit, empty it, and go back to the house. Right. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna wait there. It was like 9:30 at night. I don't want to wait there, right? So I was like, and I was just kind of poking at them a little bit. They were in my car this time. It's like, it's gonna be quick, right? It's like, oh yeah, no worries. There's only a few things. It's all packed up and everything. And it was. We got there, and it was literally super easy to get there. We got there. They went in there. They were probably out. They weren't even in there for like 3 minutes. They came out with a cart. They literally had what he said, a couple bags, a couple of more boxes. It was fine. I mean, not even half my trunk was filled. There was absolutely no problem. And they were just doing it because they didn't want to have to pay for another month. Basically, because it was the end of the month. If it wasn't emptied on the 30th, the last day of the month, they would be charged for the next month.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't want to do that. So it was fine, and we took them back. And as of that, normally I will never do multi-stops, but this was fine. And he actually ended up tipping me $10 as well on the app.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I always get a little weirded out when people want to load stuff in my car unless it's like groceries, like you bought it from, because I don't know what you have in those boxes or bags. You could have bed bugs,
Sure.
You could have fleas,
Yeah.
I always
and you never know. Yep.
No, you never know. It's totally fine that you did. I just said that's where I'm coming from, where I don't really feel comfortable doing that. But
yeah, it could be a box of dildos. You never know.
Oh, I'd be happy about that. But I guess it's more my newer car. I guess if I had my Pilot, I probably would throw it back there and not worry about it. It's more just like, what if you have a big pile of grease on the bottom of that bag and you throw it on my back seat? Because I even had a passenger that I picked up at the airport. He wanted to throw his luggage in my back seat. And I was like, no, I prefer you put it in the back. Because that thing just came off a luggage train or whatever you call those conveyors, and then thrown in an airplane. Like, I don't know what's on that thing. I don't need a big fat stain in there. But
True.
So, yeah, are you good with your stories? Can I move on?
I am, yeah. What kind of stories do you have?
I have a few. Luggage train. I mean, it is kind of like a train if you think about it, Pete, when they have...
Conveyor.
No. But they do have the little cart that they drive around that has carts that are connected like a train. See?
Yeah. You were referring to the one before I come to the conveyor.
But I actually was talking about the conveyor. I just said train.
You saved yourself there, huh?
I did. It was like I had it in the brain there. But so yeah, I had stinky people. I did a lot of ride of shames on Sunday morning. I definitely got up early enough. I think I hit the road at like 7:30.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, so I went to bed at midnight and got up, rolled out of bed, literally brushed my teeth and went out. And everybody had bad breath in the morning. Like, I mean, because I don't know, like they got in the car and I'm just like, stop talking. Because like your breath is so bad. Like, I mean, I get it. You're going out on the night in the town. You drink about a bunch of booze. But like, do you not bring I mean, I guess I wouldn't bring a toothbrush either. If I did like went to somebody's house and crashed there or whatever.
Just they weren't crashing. They were doing other things.
Crashing.
But just, yeah, use that toothbrush. I mean, you just had that thing in your mouth.
I would rather have them. If they said, would you rather have me smell, have bad breath, or use my one night stand toothbrush? I'm like, it's fine. I will take the stinky breath. So I thought that was interesting. I have not driven an early Sunday morning in a long time, so that was a little eye opening.
There you go.
I also had a comfort. I got halfway through him and he canceled, and he would not cancel the ride and kept saying, how much do I owe you? And I'm just like, that's not how this works, bro. I'm like, you need to cancel it because I'm not going to cancel it. So
wait. So he was in your car and he
no, sorry.
halfway through the ride?
No.
Okay.
That's another story. But no, I was just frustrated because I had driven like 7 minutes to get him. I was stretching my time I normally drive, but I wanted to get my rides done, whatever. And I was kind of out in like Ada a little bit, and he wouldn't cancel. And then I had to wait 8 minutes for that comfort. And then
that's the comfort canceled.
I know. And then it only paid out $7.20. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. And then one other thing, the canceling during the ride. So I pick up this gal in kind of downtown, not really downtown, like it was a little bit of a hoodie area, but here nor there, it doesn't really matter. And we're driving, and I go to drop her off, and the second I'm rolling up to the stop, they canceled. And I just didn't say anything, and she got out, and I don't know if it was done on purpose, but like I got paid. Oh, yeah. I got paid though what I was quoted, $6.22. So I don't know if they thought they've read somewhere that like if you do that, you don't have to pay for the ride or something. So I don't know. I was really taken aback by it because I wasn't expecting that to happen. I got a little worried. I'm like, did I fuck up? Did I just lose my money? But a couple rides later, I went offline. I went back and I got paid. So, and then the last thing, I picked this guy up at the Metro Health ER.
Okay.
By me. I get there. He's kind of arguing with two giant security officers. I mean, giant men. I don't know. And this guy was not big, and he's angry, and he jumps in my car or whatever. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? And he's like, fine. And I was like, okay. So we're driving along, and about halfway, he scoots over and gets behind me.
Ugh.
And I'm driving him from Metro to like Panera on Kennewa and Granville. And I'm just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna get jacked. I was preparing myself to get jacked because like, who does that?
No.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is the screen from my Octopus tablet may have been bothering him, but that didn't seem like it. Or he could have saw the dash cam and it was blinking. You know, it has that small little blink. I don't know, but I for sure thought I was going to get a pencil in my neck. You know what I say that because I drive kids around because that's the weapon of choice. But I was just like, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Would that made you nervous?
Oh, yeah. I hate it when they do that.
I mean, when they do it right away or they get in from that side, I'm not near as nervous. I'm still a little on edge, but when you slide over halfway through the ride behind me,
it's interesting, and I'm not trying to be anything about gender, but I'm not nearly as nervous if a woman does it than if a man does it.
Well, true.
And it's weird, right? Because a woman might as well put a pencil in my neck than a man can. I mean,
I would say that you're more likely to get jacked by a guy. I mean, it's not that women don't do that, but it's just, I think it's statistics. I don't think you're arguing against that. So,
thanks, Joe. It is a nice piano. It's not mine, but it's nice.
Yeah, Jesper is a big pianist.
No, he is not.
So yeah, that other than that, it was a decent weekend. I hit my bonus.
You hit your 60?
Yeah, ended up with 61. I'm not sure how. I tried to time it. Oh, what happened? Oh, I know what happened. When that lady canceled, it didn't count for my trip.
Oh, yeah.
So I still got the 622, but since they canceled, it didn't count. So I had to do one more and then I think I counted wrong. So, but anyways.
So I got my 70. That was what I was going for. And the reason why I did 71 was because at 70, I was so close to my next big number. I was like, oh man, I just want to get another. Because at that point, I was at 965 for the weekend, right? And I was like, I really just want to make another $35. So make it an even 1,000. And I was like, okay, well. And then I was downtown and I get a $25 ride to Allendale. I was like, okay, let's take it.
That's funny.
And then they took me $8 on the app, and then, so that worked out.
It's funny. I had such a chill weekend driving. When I hit my bonus, I was like, hon, I was talking to my wife. I was like, I could just do 10 more. I mean, then I could get an extra 70. Thought about it for about 20 seconds. I was like, nah,
Nope.
I started doing the math in my head. Like, okay, how long because I had to do 14 on Sunday. I was it took me 6 hours to do 14. So 10. Yep. So I'm looking at like 4 hours probably to do that 10 more. I was like, nope, not worth it.
So that's another thing that I've been thinking about too, is when I'm out driving, you have to do in during the day hours, you got to do 3 an hour. And then during the night hours, you have to do 4 an hour.
Okay.
That's kind of how that's how I do now. So I actually did have some XL rides, though, a little bit longer, but yeah, it evens out. So you have to do in when it's light, at least for me, when it's light, I got to do 3 an hour. And once it's dark, you got to do 4 an hour, and then you're pretty good.
I'd be interested on your statistics if you could. I mean, I don't know how hard be put together, but take your rides and your times, and like, did I really miss out from midnight to 3? A lot of rides where I could have banged a lot more out, or should I do that instead of like going out earlier in the day?
I missed the mark on Friday, but Saturday I was out till 3 a.m., so it was fine. But Friday I went out too early, and because it was back to back, I didn't have any time where it didn't count. So
you ran out of time.
I ran out of driving time at 1 o'clock. It's like, what the heck?
Wow,
I'm missing out the good time.
You must have been really busy then.
I was, and like, because I started at.
Well, clearly you started at 1.
Right,
it's 12 hours.
Yeah. It was, I ran out. Maybe it was 1:30, but I know I missed the 2 o'clock. Right, it was like, ugh.
That's crazy. I've never run out of time. I've come close, but anyways. Well, it sounds, from you and I, it was a good weekend. We hit our numbers. I only ended up doing like 750, but again, I don't have XL. And you also did 10 more rides than I did too. So
I did 10 more rides, which then averages out to about $10 a ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the XL. It's honestly not that much more if you really look at it. I mean, there was the extra bonus, which is 70. and then the extra $100 for the ride. So that's 170 extra. So the difference between the extra and non extra is really only about $150.
Yeah, and honestly though,
And that's what that cost me in gas, which you don't have the gas expense. So done. You made more than I did.
Well, remember too, I get $1 for each ride. So without that, it would be I haven't really experienced the XL decline because I get the extra $1, which isn't a lot, but I mean it adds up for 60 rides.
Absolutely.
So
yep.
All right, moving on. Gig economy in the news. This one's interesting. Well, kind of interesting. A millennial who quit teaching to be a full-time Uber and Lyft driver has made $36,000 so far this year, but thinks it's better as part-time gig. Hey, Jiminy, this was posted on September 25th. I'm sorry about that. I hope you still listen. I don't know how long that'll last. That guy just fucking pisses me off. He said last year when school came to a close, he was just super stressful and just needed a break. So he jumped into driving full time, at least 40 hours a week, and which a lot of people do. They just need a big change. The one thing he did feel, though, is that the pay isn't consistent enough to rely on ride hailing as his main source of income, and it's more profitable to be a part-time driver, which we've talked about hundreds of times. This is where I thought this was a little weird. Some nights pay will surge to $80 to $100 an hour.
Right.
Really?
But
I mean, depends on the market. This guy is in Colorado.
Depends on the market. Right. But I also we had some nights with that.
Yeah, back in the day, but this was, this is just a recent article.
Yeah, but we don't know when he was talking about.
True. Between January and August of this year, Lavender earned $36,000 before expenses, which they actually verified. Excluding expenses like charging, maintenance, he has an EV, insurance, interest payment on his car loan, he estimated that he earns around 26 to 27 per online hour. The time a driver has the ride-hailing app open, and that tips make up 10 to 20%. So, I don't know. 60 to 70 an hour just...
That is probably that is the rare of the hours. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
That's rare. But I mean, before expenses, there's nights, normal nights where I'm between 40 and 50 down.
Well, yeah, but he's 60 to 70. That's I guess again that market. I guess it's not that much higher than if you're 40 to 50, but
still.
He says that the ride-hailing work has some addictive elements, such as thinking that it will finally get some financial breathing room if he works just one more long, late night. He said the long hours have started to take a toll. I planned my whole life around airport, concert, sport, and event patterns and rarely able to do anything fun for myself on the weekends. Well, yeah, because that's when you make most of your money.
I know Pete. Yeah, Pete can chime in on this. He would work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right?
And
he took,
So he also said
still worked the 40 hours.
There are certain advantages to electric vehicle he drives, like saving money on gas, but it's too soon to tell how much it will boost his earnings in the long run.
Pete, I will not shut up. He's like, shut up.
Why? What did you say?
I was telling him about his schedule.
Yeah, but why was he saying shut up? I mean, that's just fact. So, but one thing I just want to point out again is yes, part-time is where it's at. If you are in debt or you are just struggling, if you can fucking get out and work a Friday or Saturday night,
right.
Think about you. You worked that whole weekend. Yeah, was it a grind? Of course. But think about what $1,000 could do for somebody that might be struggling a little bit. That's a rent payment. Well, a low rent payment, but
no, it definitely it can be a solution to an immediate cash flow issue. Absolutely.
Yeah. But can you do that every weekend? I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I made $750, which I think is good for the amount of time I worked. But could I do that every weekend?
So it would be a grind, but I have done the 70 rides twice now, and both the times the 70 rides I got a grand.
Yeah, but I remember the last 70 rides you did. It took a toll on you. I remember.
Oh, absolutely, it does, and that's what I'm saying. It's a grind and you can do it for a period, but you don't want to do it all the time.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
But that's where it comes in. That's where the model we talk about so often is the multiple buckets comes in, right? So you can take turns. You say, okay, this week I'm gonna drive Uber. On Monday I'm gonna do 2 hours of DoorDash or whatever,
Yeah.
and do some flex and whatever it is.
Yeah. I think rideshare is easier though. If you're getting into the extra gig game, I think rideshare is actually easier just to jump in and go. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, there is a little strategy to it, but like, I think it's more consistent work than DoorDash or Amazon Flex.
Yeah.
But
it's not nearly as strategic as some of the other ones.
No, I mean, obviously you see what the money is. If it's worth it to you, you take it. If not, you move on. So Pete said, Sam and her mom got me thinking about renting an EV from Uber and driving part-time again. Well, here's the thing. We talked about this. It's $300 a week, Pete. I mean, $300 a week, not a month. Like, if you're going to do 50 rides a week, it's not worth it. You need to do 200 rides a week to make it worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you gotta drive for some of those statuses and stuff, right?
I mean, fuck, you'd be better off, Pete, just buying an EV like I did. I mean, Jesus Christ, $300 a week. Oh, look, he's like, oh, what do you think? It was $300 a month? No, bro. No, bro.
No, bro.
You need to do like 200 rides a week to make it worth it, in my opinion. I'm just throwing two.
Because you start the week with $300 in the hole.
Right. I mean, it took me. I mean, I'm that week. This weekend I made $750. I mean, basically half of that would have gone to the EV rental, roughly. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah.
Right. But on the other side of it, look at me. I spent $160 in gas.
Right.
Right. So the EV evens that out a little bit.
Can you imagine because I know Gabe's been grinding. Can you imagine if you would have done what you did this weekend, plus hit the bonus during the week for 50 rides? Like, you'd be close to like almost $2,000.
Oh yeah, but the 50, the one I usually get for 50 rides during the week,
it's like $115.
It's nothing.
Well,
yeah,
I'm saying I got one for $170 for 60 rides, and that's 50 rides for $115. I mean, it's not like this huge difference.
No, that's true. But when I do the bonuses, I mean, I got $240 for 70 rides.
But that was that a 2-tier 240? Yeah. Oh, so you hit the first one and then did 10 more?
I did 60 and 10.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. My bad. I thought it was just one.
Yep. I think it was 240, right? Because it was 170 and then 70.
It was 170 for 60 and then an additional 70. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 240.
So yeah, we don't do math. So or at least difficult. So for me, what I looked at it like it's an extra $3.50 per ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take that in a day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think if you can manipulate the system, not manipulate, but like strategize around, if you're willing to work those night hours, I think you can do $2,000 a week in Grand Rapids. I think.
Oh, I believe so.
Yeah,
but it's 60 hours of grinding.
Yeah, that's true.
It
I mean, you did 24 hours just on the weekend, so you're definitely doing.
But I did it in the busy hours.
Right. True.
I mean, now I gotta spend 30 hours during the daytime hours with fucking slow and boring.
You gotta do the 30.
I would.
You gotta do 30 hours of recovering.
But it would be. I would kill myself.
Yeah.
I would stab myself in the neck with a pencil.
Honestly, I think it would be better if you're gonna work during the week, like kind of what Gabe does. He works early in the morning for 2-3 hours, does some other gig stuff, and then works in the evening. So, all right, we are only.
He has some pretty interesting things that he does in the middle. In the meantime, in the middle of that, he makes some good money on that too. So
basically, Instacart doing Costco runs.
Right, but it's doing so well where he's at in his market.
Yeah,
he's like killing it.
Right.
So
all right, we're story number
awesome
2, and we're at 33 minutes in. So
Hey, we had a good
I
conversation.
know.
It's
I'm just
okay.
saying.
It's okay. So this second story, we're talking about a new, new to US app service. We always, we talk about new app services once in a while. This is interesting because it is bit-based ride-hail app that enters the US market. It's been around forever. It started out in the Asian market, if you will, Russia and over there, and
European
what's it
markets.
called? Well, European markets, but also Africa, the European continent, African continent, Asia. So those areas, it's pretty big actually. They have company says has more than 175 million downloads and is present in 655 cities across 48 countries. So it's not a small app
Yeah.
by any means. But it differs from Uber and Lyft in the fact that the passengers can decide. The passenger can go out and say, "Hey, I will pay. I need this. I need to go from here to here, and I'll pay you $5, right, or whatever it is." And then the driver can says, "Okay, I'll take it from here to here, but I want to get paid $8." So they can kind of bid back and forth,
Okay.
and they can then agree on a rate, and then the app, which is called InDrive, they only take 10%. So that's what they take a flat 10% of the agreed upon price, and then that's it.
Who pays the 10%? The driver or do they do 5 from each?
No, they take the 10% out of the fare.
Okay, so if you agree on $10, they take $1.
They take $1 and the driver gets 9.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So now they do have a minimum fare of $10 in the markets that they've entered in America, because that's what the story going on. They're just entering America, and they starting with a minimum fare of $10, and the first 6 months they are not taking any money
Okay.
at all. So the first 6 months to kind of cement them, the drivers gets 100%.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, so here, if you never heard of InDrive, it might be because the company has more of a presence outside the traditional Western world. Originally from Siberia, InDrive divested its Russian entity after Russia went to war with Ukraine, and now they're looking for other big markets. Their top markets are Latin America, Mexico, Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Chile, Ecuador, and Asia, Kazakhstan, Indonesia, Pakistan, and India. In February, they raised a bunch of money to pay off some debt they had, and they used the rest of it to enter the American market. So, what was I gonna say? Let's say here, one way that the company is attracting new drivers is by refraining from charging commission from July 2023 to January 2024, meaning the drivers will take home 100% of each fare, subject to airport fees and highway tolls and that kind of stuff that that they still have to pay. InDrive's usual fee is 10%, and Uber and Lyft takes 25%. I laughed a little bit when I said that Uber and Lyft takes 25%. I think everybody knows that Uber and Lyft takes way more than 25% these days.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it was set up accordingly like that, but it's not like that anymore.
So it says the company is also promising to maintain a minimum ride price of $10 in Miami. Today, InDrive has 5,000 drivers in South Florida sign up for launch. So that's kind of cool. They're launching in South Florida, and they have 5,000 drivers.
Also said customers complain about InDrive's customer service being subpar when dealing with issues like frequent driver cancellations or drivers changing up upon the agreed fare, which, I mean, Uber's is subpar too. Customers reviewing the app also complained that it was buggy, the ETAs were off, and drivers didn't always know how to get from A to B. I mean, fuck, it's the GPS. I mean,
is there not a map?
This is part of the last problem is because InDrive does not have its own proprietary mapping and GPS system as its peers do, which is a huge cost. Well, you mean because they're using like Google?
They're using Google, which costs more, yeah.
So, breaking news, I saw a car that looks just like this at the airport this weekend, and it had InDrive on it. And I downloaded the app, and the app is fucked. It says I'm not connected to the internet. Like I can't even try to sign up.
The app is fucked.
No, I'll try again as I put it on my iPhone because I was just sitting at the airport. I should have went up to the guy, but
I'm pretty sure the app. I was on the website earlier, and I thought it was only for.
Yeah, I put my phone number in. I hit next, and it says,
Okay.
"Looks like you're having internet issues." That's all it says.
Oh, okay.
So I can't even get past join us via phone number. We'll text you a code to verify your phone. So,
okay.
So clearly it is in Grand Rapids because I saw it there. If I wasn't such a grumpy asshole that day and wanted to get my rides done, I may have gone over to him. Although I find that a little creepy. You know what I mean? Like just walking up to the guy and be like, "Hey, bro," you know what I mean? But if he was out of his car,
Hey,
I may have walked over there. But yeah, that had the same low decals on there. It might not have been the same car, but it was a gray car. And it had the green back door and the InDrive on the driver door. So,
well, it could be
maybe.
But what is he doing? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
guess maybe it isn't.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, no, it could.
Unless the guy, they have a gig with what was that Rapify company that kind of fucked me. And maybe that's just an ad, but he was at the airport. I mean, he was literally taking airport rides. I saw him go and come back. So unless he's just. Or maybe he's running the Uber app and using that as an ad. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't say which states it's in, does it?
No, I was just looking for that. I thought, but that was a different article I heard read about. No, it's not. So
it said it launching in South Florida, specifically Miami. So now I often wonder why it was up here. I wonder if it was just a Rapify ad. I wonder if it was.
So this story is from July 20th.
Oh,
so it is kind of old.
Jesper, how dare you? Jiminy is going to be so pissed. So it is 6.
But this is the first time we're talking about InDrive, huh?
It is like 4 months old. So, but I don't know.
There's a chance that it could be in Grand Rapids now. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, it literally said, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. All right, if anyone sees that, works in Grand Rapids and sees that guy, try to talk to him. I mean, hey, if there's another app that I can do rideshare on, I'm going to try it. But like I said, I can't get past the texting part because something's broke. All right, moving on. This is kind of funny. I don't know if this is Photoshopped. It probably is.
I think it's Photoshopped.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay, something's Photoshopped.
It's the easiest thing to Photoshop.
Something's Photoshopped because if you look at Uber X, it's a capital U. If you look at Uber XL, it's a lower U,
right.
And then the Uber double XL is up. Okay, so it is cat. People do pretty good. I can get fooled so easy. When AI comes around, like more prevalent, I'm fucked. But anyways, I thought that was funny. I could have used a double XL for some of the people I drove this weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
But what would be a double XL?
Cap. Pete, you're as old as me. Don't talk like my high school kids. Cap. I know what that means. What would be considered a double XL? I don't know. I feel like a big Suburban.
Minibus.
A minibus. Fucking A, boomer. Or like those old conversion vans. My parents had one of those. Just something that you can fit more than an XL in, I guess.
The Econo van?
Yeah, Ecoline van, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, Ecoline.
Steve, I forgot to say thank you for the super chat. I know I shared it or I showed it, but I appreciate you so much.
Steve is awesome. He's a great supporter. We love you, Steve.
Party bus. Larry says party bus.
I've actually seen a couple party buses downtown with the app.
I would love to do that as my own business. I wouldn't want to work for somebody, but I would love to get a party bus and do that. I think it.
So I actually had a good friend who did that.
Yeah.
And they had 3 buses at one point, but they bought old buses and then restored them themselves and got them going.
Like school buses or this older like regular buses?
No, I mean regular buses. But then what they do is they tear out the interior and make them party.
Yeah.
Right. Really cool buses. It was a shit ton of work.
Oh,
I mean, once you have the buses ready, I mean, doing the actual work, driving every weekend, oh, it's so much work.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably better to own it and have pay somebody to drive it, but
But they couldn't find any good drivers. That was
really?
the problem. The husband ended up having to do a lot of the driving himself, and it was just a pain in the ass. And yeah, but they ended up selling it and did okay selling it. So
Yeah.
they sold all 3 buses and all their existing clients, because they had some clients that would use them a lot,
Yeah, I
all the
wonder if it would
time.
be more cost effective to run just a black car service then over, although,
Right.
yeah, I don't
Maybe.
know.
So we have a cigar shop in town. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
And they have a bus, a cigar bus. And
Oh,
my assumption is they will let people actually smoke on the bus.
I'm
So
assuming. Why
they
not?
drive around. They drive around, and they have we'll go around, and you can enjoy a good car and whatever, and because they have both. They also have a they also have a bar, so you can go in and have a cigar and a bar and a whiskey.
Well, I hope they
So
have some good ventilation in there because good talk about hot boxing. Oh, geez.
I know. Holy smokes.
All right, let's jump into this cat debacle, which was very
So this
interesting.
is definitely a cat debacle. I'm gonna read the story. So this one, apparently, this story was actually posted both in on Facebook list group on Facebook, but then also on Reddit. So this is an interesting story, and there's an update. It's a driver. No, sorry, it's a writer who wrote the story, and basically, it's gonna read it, and we'll go from it. So he goes here. I need help. Lyft driver drove off with my pet cat. I mean, that right there should be a
Yeah.
giveaway. I don't know what else to do at this point, so this is a Hail Mary. I was taking my cat to a vet appointment at the hospital in Austin, Texas. I was sitting behind the driver and had the cat carrier on the floor of the passenger side back seat. Once we reached the destination, I got out from the driver's side door and started walking to the passenger side door to pick her up. Before I could open the door, the driver started driving. I banged on the back of the passenger window and screamed, running behind him, but he drove off.
First of all, why'd you
So
drive off when someone's banging on your window? Clearly, there's something wrong. Like
absolutely,
at
he
least
was
stop and
obviously
check it
just
out.
right. I tried contacting the driver through Lyft. They were not helpful at all. You can only send 3 messages and call the driver 3 times.
Which I didn't know
The
that.
driver didn't. Huh?
I didn't know that. I didn't think he.
I did not know that
Yeah.
either. The driver didn't respond for about 2 hours and then said he didn't have the cat. I called 911, but they transferred me over to 311 and filed a report. I have not heard back from anyone yet. I don't know what to do. The driver has stopped responding again, and I don't have any way of contacting him other than through the app. I've offered them money for bringing her back, but they just don't respond. Is anyone out who can help? What else can I do? Okay. So this actually, apparently this story went pretty viral or whatever, but
It did go viral because Lyft, the CEO John Risher or whatever his name is, was talking and tweeting and stuff. So like they were,
okay.
it was a 5-alarm fire for this cat.
Right. Anyways, the investigators from Lyft found Tux, which is the name of the cat.
Yeah,
But they did not find her carrier.
which is weird.
Like, what?
So somebody let that cat out of that car and the carrier.
I know. Snippet from the investigator who found her. Cat ran up a set of stairs on the back of the building next to it. The team was able to get her caught up at the top of the stairs, and she was too scared to jump from there. I was able to get my overshirt to the team member at top of the stair. Holy moly! Whoever wrote this is horrible.
Yeah, we don't need to read it all. We get it.
Anyway, so they found the cat, which was good. But let's get back to who takes off with the cat.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I wanted to get to. What driver takes? And I hope that driver was turned off.
yeah. I mean, obviously
Off the
he
platform.
dumped the cat as soon as he drove off. I mean, he probably felt bad, right? And so that's why he let the cat out of the carrier. I'm guaranteed that was his only, because he's like, well, I can't leave this, I can't just throw the cat carrier out. But like, why the fuck did you even throw it out? Like the second I saw that, I would be like, oh my God, there's a cat in here.
what makes you take off?
Yeah.
That's what I
Well,
want.
maybe he
You
did.
know, there's a damn cat in your car.
I mean, who knows? Again, low level of intelligence to be a rideshare driver. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that the cat was found because that.
And the cat was fine.
I
Yes,
mean,
me
yeah,
too.
little dehydrated, covered in fleas, but yeah, God, that guy. I mean, that guy better be careful if they find that guy and like they're gonna fuck him up, being like, you don't fuck with someone's pets. Like that's just, you just can't do
No,
that.
but don't you think Lyft deactivated him? They know who he is.
Well, they would have to. I mean, just even though that's the thing though, they can deactivate for anything else, but like they can't prove that he ditched the cat. He said that the next passenger that got in didn't said there was not a cat back there. So, yeah, we know he did, but I would be so stressed if my puppy was in a carrier. I mean, I'm not a cat guy per se, but if one of my dogs was in there and they took off, we be renting a car going to track this motherfucker down. Like, I mean, clearly that lady didn't have a car because she was using the rideshare service. But
Right.
talk about a stressful day of not.
I'm telling you, my gosh, I would just yeah.
I think you lost your customer there. I don't think she's ever going to be back. So
No.
moving on, RMI Inspections, on-demand inspections for Uber and Lyft is one of the sponsors of the show. If you need to get that done and you don't want to deal with the hassle of bringing it to the mechanic shop, have them put it on the lift, go through all that bullshit when you know nothing is wrong and they're going to try to find something that's wrong, check out RMI Inspections. The link is in the description. It is $19 and you do not pay unless you pass. You can use basically to do it on video chat. And it takes about 15 minutes or so to go through all the things. They send you the forms all signed, and you are good to go. So check them out. Like I said, the link is in the description. So
I think it's pretty cool.
yeah, I think it's really cool. So obviously we've talked a lot, so we're gonna some of the stuff we might not get to. But DoorDash tests out a feature that rewards users for dining out, not ordering in. Okay, DoorDash has made a name for itself as a restaurant delivery service that has later years expanded to categories like groceries, convenience store items, but the company is now running a test of a surprising new feature, a rewards program that offers consumers credits for dining out at local restaurants. The feature is simply called Dine Out, allows users to earn credits by swiping to check in while they're at the restaurant. As a page on DoorDash customer support site explains, the amount of credit varies and will be stated in the offer. Plus, if the restaurant has multiple locations, the credit may be limited to certain locations.
So what would be the purpose of that?
I know. I'm trying to. Okay, so I don't know what are they doing. It didn't really say. It was. I'm sorry. I'm kind of buzzing through this thing.
Yeah, how is that helping? I guess how is that helping DoorDash?
Oh, so essentially the app would serve as a lead gen for DoorDash restaurant partners, a potential way to onboard restaurants to the platform that hesitated to offer delivery service through the app. Okay, if that's what they're doing, every fucking restaurant does DoorDash. I mean, the ones that I go into.
Well, yeah.
So my point is, if this is a rewards program, they're not going to give it to for McDonald's. I mean, McDonald's always does it, so it's going to be basically like these low, small mom and pop businesses that might not be on DoorDash.
But that's all. That is the only. I mean, yeah, that's absolutely what they're trying to do. Get those on there.
Get on DoorDash and tell me what restaurant you. I mean, you can get anything on DoorDash. Like, I don't know why this would be even that profitable for them.
No, I know.
I mean, it would be cool. I was thinking too, like they were gonna like, hey, take a picture of the menu, or something like that.
But see, I mean, I don't. Yeah, the problem is also I would never do. I mean, I hate doing DoorDash. I'm just being honest.
Well,
I hate.
You can't do it anyways anymore. You gotta basically sacrifice your firstborn son to get on the app in Grand Rapids.
No. I mean, being a user of DoorDash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate it.
How come?
Yeah, I don't want to pay the money. I would go myself.
Just in general.
Just pick up the food. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I probably use it once a month, maybe even less than that. Sometimes I get lazy, although we've been watching our spending, so I definitely haven't used it since I took this new job. But
yeah, Megan, I have not been using it. Wink, wink.
She don't listen anyways, so don't send her this clip either. Damn it all. So, anyways, Jesper, another funny picture.
This is another one. I'm sure it is another.
Well, this one I know for sure is Photoshop.
It's somebody had fun. I mean, and who would let a student driver in a Tesla?
It's like help a new driver learn, save some money, and take some risk.
And take some of the risk.
See that now? That's how I know it was fake, just by reading that, right?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me with Uber doing something like that, though. Like, I don't even know how legality wise how that would even be possible, but
yeah, it was just student driver.
Idiot. All right, the last thing we'll probably end up talking about, because I'm sure we'll spend some time on it, is this is a long fucking article, by the way. Delivery driver, and I highlighted some of the stuff. Delivery drivers who make their living on apps like Instacart, DoorDash, and Grubhub saying they're being booted without warning, which we've talked about several times.
Yep.
The Uber Eats driver estimated he spent the next wait. So this guy gets deactivated for fraud. See, what was the reason I didn't? Oh, he's delivering a pie when the customer changed the drop-off location. The new destination would take 10 minutes longer, so he contacted Uber Eats support and asked whether he could drop the order. The agent on the other end approved it and told Insider and assured him that it wouldn't negatively affect him. A few days later, his account was deactivated. Suspected the drop order triggered the activation. All of a sudden, it says my account is under investigation for fraud. It doesn't give any details. Driver estimates he spent the next 2 months exchanging messages with dozens of support agents, but none could restore his account. That he had most reiterated that he'd been deactivated for fraud, but declined to provide specifics, according to screenshots.
So, before we move on, did he have the pie picked up already?
It doesn't say that. My guess is yes.
But then what are you going to do with the pie?
Well, yeah, for him dropping the order, that means you have the pie.
I know you can't drop the order when you have the pie.
I mean, you can, but
you up the pie.
Yeah, that is weird. I wonder how that does work, because I've never. Usually, if the customer cancels when you have the food, well, guess what? You just scored free food.
Well, yeah, of course.
So maybe he deserves to be.
You can't take the pie back.
It's not Costco.
I know. You have to buy.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, I mean, I could read, all these deactivations. Oh, here is one I did want to read. One Instacart shopper in California said he was deactivated after a Total Wine store charged him more for a bottle of bourbon than the price indicated on the app. He told Insider he called an Instacart support agent who approved the purchase and added money to his company-issued debit card for that purpose. Instacart, he was deactivated later that day. Instacart cited Total Wine transaction, and the shopper had committed a misappropriation of funds, which I think he kept trying to charge the card, maybe, and it couldn't work. So they were seeing that like, oh, he's trying to charge more for this bourbon or whatever it is. I think something like that because the transaction, you know what I mean? Maybe not. According to the screenshots of chats that the shopper had with the support agent, added that the shopper had made several unauthorized purchases. See, that's what I think. But didn't point to any transaction other than the Total Wine. So I think he was like swiping it. The company didn't offer any additional details. So, yeah, I mean,
I just feel like something like that should be easy to prove.
Yeah, it should be easy to prove, especially, see, that's why I kind of like the chat function. Right. You call on the phone, it gets weird, right? Because, I mean, yeah, they say they might be recording it, but I don't know. At least with the chat, like I always screenshot that shit just to go back. But here's a question that no one's asking in all these deactivations. It's just like an at-will job, right? I mean,
right.
I can like when I did lawn care, they can let me go for no reason. They don't have to give a reason. They can be like, yeah, it's just not working out. So this is kind of the same thing. People lose their mind thinking, oh, it's unfair deactivations. While it may be unfair, they don't really even have to give you a reason. They're just be like, yeah, it's not working out anymore. Now, as long as they're not firing you for, your age or your gender or orientation or anything, or religious beliefs, obviously that is against the law. But I don't know why people freak out about that.
So what if the apps, and this is it just came to my mind. What if the apps didn't deactivate you? They just ghosted you.
What do you mean?
Like, stop sending your requests.
Oh, so you're online and then like,
but you're not getting shit.
like a girlfriend, you're just like, well, I guess the last 2 weeks I haven't gotten laid or heard from her, so I guess we're done.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Why bother? I mean, it's technology. It's not like they can't. Of course, they can program it. So just don't send any. Don't send stuff to this guy. Don't deactivate him. Just stop sending him.
Yeah, I know.
Can't they do that?
I know that's dumb though. That's not gonna work.
Why not? It would totally work.
Then
they wouldn't get all the bad rep of being deactivating. Customers. Just don't give them any jobs.
Yeah, but that's not gonna work, Jesper. Take your comedy down to the bar and do stand up. But no, it really, I get the frustration about not knowing, but again, at least in Michigan, I don't know if that's a federal law or whatever. They do not have to tell you why they're letting you go. One interesting thing, Seattle legislation said the city recently passed a measure that makes it harder for apps to deactivate gig drivers. For example, a driver refusing too many orders is not an acceptable reason for getting fired under the new law. I mean, it shouldn't. Most of them don't do that. But this is interesting. It also requires a human, not a computer, to review any appeal that the driver makes to the deactivation decision. So I think a lot of this is AI deactivating these people.
Oh, sure.
And they don't take the time as a human. And even the appeal, I think it's just run through a little system and it's like, nope, you're still deactivated.
Right. Well, it's the exact same thing as to why it took me so long to get back on Lyft, because their system was all on that. Until a person finally took a look at it and said, oh yeah,
you're good. So in your situation, if you lost the ability to drive on Uber and you didn't have Lyft, would you spend time like trying to fight to get back on, or you'd just be like, well, I guess I'm not doing gig work anymore, or at least with Uber?
It would be the last.
Really? You wouldn't even attempt to try to appeal or anything?
No.
Nope. Why?
I mean, I might appeal once, but then I would let it go. You see how look at how, I mean, let's be real, right? I was fairly inactive in trying to get back on Lyft.
Yeah, you were, which was crazy to me.
Whatever.
Yeah, but you love it so much. You love it. You talk about it being your therapy and you want to get out there and drive, but yet you're like, if I get deactivated, oh well, I'll just move on.
Right. No, and maybe I would. After a bit, I would fight for it more because I do love it.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I do.
I mean, obviously you have other things to do, but I mean, it is a good moneymaker. I mean, think about that. If you did it every weekend, this was a pretty good weekend, but you'd make $4,000 a month.
I would at least make $3,000 a month if I do it. Yes.
That's crazy to me. On top of your other job. Again, you're going to need a month to recover, but I mean, it's just crazy. So.
Yeah, but I mean, again, if I would just say if I would do $3,000 a week, I wouldn't drive nearly as crazy.
That's true.
$3,000 a month, I wouldn't drive the crazy,
Yeah, I mean, 25 hours on the weekend after you work 60. I know you've been busy and stuff too, so.
Right.
All right, folks. Thank you guys for chatting. The people that are in here, I appreciate you. Steve, again, thank you for the super chat. I love he always does $4.99. He never does $5. It's $4.99. I don't know why. It's probably a joke that I don't know about. We had a ton of shit that we didn't get to because we had a lot of stories. So we will obviously bring those back around. We do have a B-side next week. As far as I know, I've been, who is that person?
Yeah, we're talking to somebody.
I think it is Steve, I'm sure. It's Dash or Pass, Faith from Dash or Pass. So I had emailed her like so time ago and it just didn't work out. And we picked a date and it should be fun. It would be good to do a B-side. I know a lot of people like them.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of good comments about the B-side format. They like that. So,
yeah. So again, if you want to be on the show as a gig worker or a gig creator or whatever, we'd love to have you on to talk about your story. So
absolutely.
See you next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. And as always, don't put up with anyone's bullshit.
And we'll see you on the road.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.